Hey everyone, this is Jun,
And I'm Daniel,
and we are Korean.
American.
Okay, this time I forgot
Are
that
you
I'm
feeling
Korean.
American, June?
Oh, we're meeting in the
Ooh, we're
middle.
melding.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's good. That's
it's
good.
good. Yeah, the whole
Daniel.
point of this is to
Yeah.
help each other have more perspective.
Yes, exactly. Daniel,
Yes,
I'm gonna ask you a very random question, and
go for it.
and I'm 100% sure what the answer is gonna be, but
Okay.
I'm gonna ask anyways.
Ask.
Have you had dog meat,
No, never. 보싱탕.
보신탕, or 개고기?
개고기.
Yeah, we call
That's
it.
more straight up.
Oh, we call it 개고기.
Dog meat. To be honest,
Mm-hmm.
this might super offend people.
You
I
want
would
to try?
I would be willing to try it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I don't particularly want to, but I would be open to it. Just try it. Yeah.
Do you think that I have ever tried dog meat?
June, you underestimate how good my memory is.
Oh, I said it.
You said you did one time, I think.
No, more than one time.
Oh,
Yeah.
you said growing up you had it,
Yeah.
and the first time you might have mentioned you didn't know what it was. Yeah,
And
but
there's a very strange culture around 개고기.
hmm
This is a very unique point of view that I have.
yeah.
It's very, I think it's tied to masculinity.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's like one of the things where your father takes you
yeah,
and like wants you to have it.
yeah.
Kind of. I felt that kind of pressure
It's
a
like
little
a
bit.
father-son bonding thing, kind of.
Kind of.
Okay,
Or like, I don't know.
yeah,
See, it's like my dad would never take me to a chicken place
yeah,
and like trick me into having chicken meat.
yeah,
But this is a lot of a common experience that Korean, like my generation kids had.
yeah,
Like they obviously they don't want it to have dog food,
yeah.
but their parents trick you to have it.
Interesting.
I don't
Yeah,
know why that is.
that is
Anyways,
interesting. Yeah.
my dad even went to the extreme of teaming up with the restaurant owner because I was like, I'm never gonna get dog food, right?
Yeah.
And my dad was like, oh yeah, this place has beef too.
Okay.
And I clearly remember either the restaurant owner or the waitress or whatever,
Yeah.
she said this part is dog meat
And then,
and this part of the plate is beef.
oh, okay.
And like, why would they? Now that I think about it, why would they sell beef at a
Yeah.
dog meat restaurant?
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah. Why do you ask, June?
oh, it's because recently there's news and a lot of controversies over. I think bill has been passed in the Congress
Yeah.
to now officially ban consumption of dog meat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm. And I think the criticism towards that is it kind of goes against free will and maybe to the point of the Korean constitution, right?
Yeah. Personal liberties.
Yeah,
I can eat whatever I want.
Why can't you? Why do you have to illegalize it?
Yeah. Actually, I don't. Obviously, it's super taboo in the U.S.
Mm.
But I'm just gonna look up. Is it illegal to eat dog meat in the U.S.? I don't know why there would be a law against
Yeah,
it.
if it's let's say if it's an endangered species, right?
Yeah.
It's only logical to ban it, but dogs is a different.
Oh, okay. Dog and Cat Meat Trade Prohibition Act of 2018. Just reading off Wikipedia preview.
2018, so it's
Very recent, yeah. So there is a
Interesting.
law in the U.S. apparently,
Mm.
commercial slaughter of cats and dogs with fines up to 5,000. So, yeah, it prohibits shipping, sale, and transportation for the purpose of human consumption,
Mm.
except for Native American tribes performing religious ceremonies. So,
Mm.
yeah, a very recent 5 years ago law with a
Mm.
$5,000 penalty in the U.S. But
Mm.
yeah, I'm surprised that exists. Yeah.
I think I just realized that the audience might misunderstand
Mhm.
when I say there's criticism towards like why do you have to legalize this
Mhm.
and go against human like individual rights or free
Mhm.
will, right?
Mhm.
I think people might think that a lot of people like to eat dog meat. To be sure, no one eats dog meats these days.
Yeah, say it again. To be very clear, in modern Korea,
Yeah,
at
no
least in
one.
Seoul, let's say.
It's gonna be very difficult to find one even
In Seoul?
in Seoul.
Okay. Yeah, there's no dog meat restaurants
So
here.
I think the criticism is goes like this. No one's having it anyways.
hmm
So why are you making such a big deal out of it?
Yeah.
And I think it's also kind of related to the hatred towards the first lady because it was like her thing.
Oh, her thing. I
Yeah.
see.
And like she's very scandalous, right?
I don't know
She
anything about Korean
she
politics.
is, and
Okay.
like people are like, like, is this the thing that you're gonna do when
Yeah.
no one's having it anyways?
Yeah.
Like you're trying to do this and make this as your accomplishment is the criticism. I think the core of the essence of the
I
criticism.
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I want to push back on that briefly
Mm-hmm.
because I read, what the dog farmers were saying was threatening. Hey,
Yeah.
we're going to release 2 million dogs then because we can't sell them. So obviously there are a lot of dogs being raised
Really?
for. Yeah, that's what I
I
read.
didn't know that. That's super interesting. I, I I mean, obviously, I like dogs, so I would never eat dogs.
Yeah.
But the only reason that if I had to choose whether I'm pro or anti dog, like legalizing dog meat,
Yeah.
it's only because it's so underground,
Mm.
and so the process of actually like killing the dogs is very
Probably inhumane. Yeah.
inhumane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be clear, that's the reason why many people in the US
Hmm.
are kind of vegetarian.
Yeah.
It's they think the conditions under which, cows, chickens, pigs are raised,
Yeah.
it's just inhumane
Yeah.
and bad for the environment. And
Mm.
so that's why they're against it. But yeah,
Mm.
it's a similar reason.
Yeah. So today we wanted to talk about pet culture in Korea.
Yeah. Segue into pet culture.
No, because it is. I mean, it's a thing.
Oh yeah, let's be real. Like the reason why dogs and this law in the US exists
Yeah.
because dogs and cats are pets
Hmm.
and cows, chickens and pigs are not.
Yeah.
Right? Because by any, I think, interpretation, pigs are more intelligent than dogs.
Yeah.
They're just not cute, cuddly, and they
Yeah.
haven't been bred to be cute, cuddly, and furry,
Yeah.
right, over many, many generations.
Mm.
So,
So if you want to be really logical about this, I think there's no explanation, right?
yeah, I'd agree with you. I mean, I'm all for protecting animals' rights for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, dogs, are they any different than any of these other animals that we eat for meat, right?
Mm-mm.
And anyway, I just want to bring up, my parents growing up, the one thing I've said on this podcast before, my dad always told me the only
Mhm.
thing he remembers from his childhood is that he was hungry, right? All the time, right? Eating a chicken egg for protein
Mm.
was a treat he only got on his birthday,
Mm.
right? So just imagining growing up in that circumstance and condition,
Mhm.
I mean, meat is meat, right? At
Mm.
that point, it's protein, it's good, it's healthy for you to
Mhm.
have that. And so I don't know, I'm much more like, who am I to judge
Yeah.
if people are going to eat dogs for meat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People eat all kinds of meat, right? Other than beef, pork, they also eat rabbit.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
deer,
in Australia, they eat kangaroo meat.
kangaroo, yeah. I'm sure, yeah. In the Middle East, I was going to say they eat camels. I know that, so yeah.
Mm-mm-mm. Anyways, I just researched on the internet briefly, and I realized, and I know now that there are, as of today, 5.5 million dogs and 2.5 million cats in Korea.
Period. Not being raised for human consumption.
Oh, I think these are all like registered as
Pets.
pets. Yeah.
Okay.
So a
5.5
lot
million
more
dog pets.
unregistered dogs and cats on the
Okay.
street.
I was going to say that there are a lot of stray cats in Korea. I see them everywhere. Yeah.
You know, there are also a lot of controversies around that too.
No, what's the
I was gonna get
controversy?
into that a little bit.
Mm,
There's a concept called cat mom.
hmm Cat mom?
Yeah,
Okay,
cat
okay.
mom.
Yeah.
I think the equivalent of that in English is crazy cat lady.
Okay. Yeah.
So there are a lot of like older women who like really like cats,
Mm,
but can't actually breed them at home.
hmm
So they would just like provide shelters and food on the street.
Like leave out a bowl of milk for them or
Yeah.
something like that. Okay.
And some people really don't like that
Ah,
because they don't like cats around the neighborhood.
yeah.
So there are a lot of controversies. Obviously, cat mom is a very derogatory term.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I see. I mean they're fun to see. My kids like to oh, we saw that one today,
Yeah.
right? We have the couple neighborhood ones that we think we recognize.
Hmm.
And I don't know, it keeps probably rodents away, right? So I think that's
Maybe.
nice and sanitary. So
Yeah.
yeah, let's talk about pet culture though, because
Hmm.
personally, I just will qualify.
Hmm.
I've never owned a pet growing up.
I wanted to ask why so?
Yeah, it's a good question because in
Yeah.
America, it seems everyone has like a family dog growing
Yeah.
up, right? That's like such a thing. We have
And
yards; it's easy to raise.
you had a yard too.
We had a
back
yard.
then.
We had
Yeah.
we had a nice big yard.
And I'm sure your kids ask for one.
Oh, now I guess I should say today we do have a pet turtle.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, you never told me.
But it's a pet turtle. I don't know.
When did you have it from?
Our oldest son's first grade science teacher,
Uh-huh.
when they were leaving, they had something like 17 turtles that they kept in the classroom that they were asking parents if anyone wanted to take them away.
Mm-hmm.
And so we asked our son, and he said he wanted one, so we brought that home.
Was that recent?
2 years ago. Yeah, a year and a
Oh,
half
okay,
ago.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
At one point, I know that you wanted to get a guinea pig for for
Oh
your
yeah,
daughter.
our oldest daughter, our second child, she wanted a guinea pig
Yeah.
or a rabbit, and like we looked into maintenance. We were like, no, we can't be responsible pet owners. But no, personally, I would love to have a cat,
Mm.
but my wife is sadly allergic, and
Ah.
so yeah, that's kind of why we don't. My dad also growing up in Korea,
Mm-hmm.
he had a pet dog,
Mm.
who I think he treated very very well.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad often lamented he wished he could have a pet,
Mm.
but my mom was against it. Yeah.
Against it or allergic?
I think my mom said it was just too messy. It would make the house too messy. So
Mm-mm.
sadly, we never had a pet growing up.
Mm.
But yeah, so and now I think we don't have the time or energy to have a pet.
Mm-hmm.
But I think once our kids are a little bit older, we're totally open to I think probably getting a dog.
A dog?
Yeah. Again, cats for me are lower maintenance.
Yeah.
And I like that you kind of have to like earn their trust and loyalty, where dogs are just like, tail wagging, tongue wagging, happy go lucky. But yeah, I probably won't get a pet for that reason, cat for that reason.
For that reason, you know what Koreans call cat owners?
No.
Butlers. You call it a
The cat's
dog
that-
owner
yeah.
and then a cat butler.
The cat's in charge.
Gypsa.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So obviously I have a cat.
Jun, you have a cat. Yeah. Very awesome cat.
He made an appearance in our YouTube video.
He's made a few appearances.
Yeah. He's actually right there, like 2 meters away.
So how did you get your cat, Jun?
Yeah. So growing up, I was always a dog person.
Yeah. You had pet dogs growing up?
One
dog, yeah.
And it's a pretty similar story with your parents.
Mm-hmm.
My dad's pretty okay with having a dog.
Yeah.
My mom really didn't like, and I really love dogs. Every time I go to a bookstore as a kid, I always bought like those dog breed encyclopedias.
Wow.
And I used to memorize like almost every dog breed
Oh
type.
wow, you really love dogs.
Yeah. So eventually we got a dog.
Yeah.
At one point, we had a really bad relationship, me and him. But anyways, he's not alive anymore.
Uh-huh.
I never had a thing with cats,
Mm-hmm.
but my brother did, and he has 2 cats. And after grad school, when I came to Korea, I lived with my brother for about 3 years.
Yeah.
And that's when I really started like understanding cats and know how to take care of cats.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're awesome.
Yeah.
So after I moved out from my brother's place, I was thinking of getting a cat. And then for some reason, I really wanted that type.
Orange tabby.
Orange tabby.
Yeah.
And in Korea, we call it chizunyang,
What's that mean?
cheese cat.
Cute.
Yeah. So I think I put an alert on Instagram,
Yeah.
like hashtag chizunyang 입양, meaning like cheese cat adoption.
Uh-huh.
And so the story of him is that I think he used to be a stray cat.
Uh-huh.
And then he was at one point was breeded in a marketplace,
Oh.
시장.
Yeah.
And then he was moved to a supermarket for 쥐잡이. I didn't even know there was a term for that.
What is that? Yeah.
Like mice catching.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Basically rodent control.
Yeah, he was leashed and everything. And so this one day, this lady, this is in Cheongju, which is like I think 2-hour drive away from Seoul.
Mm-hmm.
This lady in Cheongju, she's the owner of 5 cats already. And she was passing by the supermarket and she sees this cat on a leash and all that. And she was like, oh, like this poor thing, and asked the owner like, what's the story behind him? And she was like, oh, he's supposed to be a mouse catching cat, but he can't catch any mouse. So if you want to take him, just take him, or else we're thinking of like sending him back to the marketplace.
Okay.
So this lady, obviously she couldn't adopt another cat because she already had 4 or 5 already.
Yeah.
So she thought about it really hard. And she basically rescued him and then took him in Korea we call it 임시보호,
Uh-huh.
temporary, I
Oh,
guess,
housing, yeah.
yeah, temporary
Shelter.
housing.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like advertising on Instagram and all that.
Mm.
That's when I saw him. So I drove all the way to Cheongju.
Yeah, wow. For
Yeah.
just a random Instagram connection.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah. His name is Korong.
Yeah.
He's 5 years old.
Okay.
Yeah. He's like, I think everyone really likes him
Yeah.
once they get to know him. He's like very
Very
friendly.
friendly. Yeah.
He likes people. There's a term for these types of personalities of
Yeah.
cats in Korea.
Yeah.
개냥이.
Kenyangi. Oh, it's like a dog cat.
It's a dog.
Yeah. There's similar terms in the US.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're widespread,
Mhm.
but one time we were dog sitting, and actually that one's a cat dog. It's a
Oh,
dog that
cat
acts like a
dog.
cat.
Is that a good thing?
Depends what you like, yeah, but they're
Yeah.
not necessarily the friendliest,
Mhm.
right? They just kind of, they're on their own, but they'll
Mhm.
play when they want to. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. When you mentioned your dad, right?
Yeah.
I also wanted to mention how my parents, their point of view towards pets, I think there's a very generational difference.
Yeah.
Back then, in my parents' generation, pets were always like never a companion.
Hmm.
I don't want to say never, but they were never allowed inside the house.
I see. Yeah.
They're always leashed
Hmm.
outside in the lawn,
Yeah.
and they didn't have like proper pet food. They always gave
The
like,
leftovers.
and
Yeah,
all that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's their relationship and point of view of what a dog is.
Yeah.
Even when I had briefly had a dog growing up, my dad always said that like it's very weird to live in the house together with
Yeah.
a dog. He always used to kick the dog.
Yeah, that was the common culture back then, right?
So it's
In
so bad.
hindsight, it's like so bad,
Yeah.
but growing up, you didn't think anything of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of what made me want to bring up this topic in the first place.
Mhm.
I had a friend once too. I went to their house, and yeah, they had a dog leashed in the backyard, but it was a big dog,
Yeah.
and it was on a short leash.
Yeah.
And I could just tell like this dog is chained up
Mhm.
like probably 24 hours a day most days.
Yeah.
And he, it's not healthy. It's probably cruel, right,
Yeah,
for that dog.
Mhm.
And I get the sense though that was the common culture
Mhm.
for pets in Korea a generation ago.
Mm.
But, fast forward whatever 50, 60 years later.
Yeah.
And to be clear, this is not just in Korea, although I see it more here.
Yeah.
They have baby carriers, but
Yeah.
instead of a baby,
개모차. I think it's
instead of yumocha. Yeah, it's like a big expensive baby carrier,
yeah.
but there's a dog in it or a
Yeah.
cat in it.
yeah.
Right? We were just in Jeju.
Mhm.
We saw a lot of people traveling with their
Mhm.
pets
Yeah.
alone, right? They're
Yeah.
going on a vacation with their dog.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I just wanted to talk about, even though I've never had a pet in the US or in Korea,
Mhm.
I guess I have a turtle, yes. But yeah, what the differences are, in your opinion, between the two countries and how we think about pets, especially in light of this, dog meat ban that's going on.
I think for a long time, so what really reflects the difference in how people view pets is for a long time we used to call it 애완동물 or like 애완견, 애완묘.
동물, I know means animal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
애완견 is 애완, like 견 is dog
Mhm.
and 묘 is cat.
Oh, I see.
And the word 애완, if you translate it, it's like loving toy. wan is the Chinese character for toy.
Mm-hmm.
And now they
Oh, and
don't-
like for 애교, 애기.
yeah, 애 for love.
A love,
Like
okay.
loving toy.
Okay.
Loving toy dog, loving
Yeah.
toy. So it's you understand the point of view. It's like just
Yeah.
something for you to play with,
Yeah.
kind of. And now they don't use that word anymore.
Mm.
They use 반려견, 반려묘.
Mm-hmm.
반려 means companion.
I see.
So this, I think, already reflects how the difference in how people view pets now.
Yeah, they're really now integrated into the family almost, as opposed to just like a toy or plaything.
Yeah. But again, as Koreans do, they go to the extreme now.
I agree.
There's super, I think, too overly protective.
Yeah,
And like they
probably spend way too much money on these pets. Yeah.
you know these dogs like wearing Prada shirts. I think that's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
But anyways, they buy like the best quality meat
Yeah.
and all that, which I think it's good for the dogs.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm like in the intergenerational.
You're somewhere in between.
I'm somewhere in between. It's like sometimes I see it.
It's too
Although I'm a
much.
cat owner,
Yeah.
I think it's kind of, I feel a bit uncomfortable when I see someone's like overprotective
Yeah.
towards their pets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My aunt, my gomo, who moved to the U.S. and lived in the U.S. for a while, she just lost one of her very beloved dogs, and so she's, I think still heartbroken and recovering. But anyway, I got a chance to talk to her recently, and she was saying in Korea, when she was walking around, she actually sees a lot of dog owners overdressing their dogs.
Yeah.
And so it's to the point of like, hey, they don't know that the dog doesn't need this much clothing. It's very uncomfortable for them.
Yeah.
And so she was trying to educate them about it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it fell upon deaf ears or not, but anyway, just
Exactly. Yeah,
just highlighting.
That's the reason that I'm uncomfortable, because it's clearly not for them.
Yeah.
It's
for the owner.
not for the animal.
Yeah.
It's for the owner.
It's for the owner, yeah.
Inexpensive, probably even making the dog or cat uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like dog grooming and all that. Like I don't know if the dog is gonna be happy. I think I want to say that I'm more focused on the actual well-being of my cat.
Of the animal, yeah. Let's see. What do you think are some of the big differences, though? I know did you have any pets in when you were in the U.S.?
My dad,
Yeah.
when we were in the U.S., he used to work at a laboratory,
Yeah.
medical laboratory.
Yeah. Oh,
And sometimes he
mice?
would bring like white mice,
oh no, lab mice.
which is, I mean, I think he did his best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. One I've observed.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've talked about this before, but dogs, sizes of dogs.
Oh yeah.
Right. They the big dogs just it's hard to raise them in Korea, at least in the city.
Yeah.
People don't have yards. Where can they run around? And so smaller dogs are much more in common, I think.
I think it goes hand in hand with parenting.
Yeah.
Like the differences in treating your pets, right?
Yeah.
Like in the US, I feel like they're more natural.
Yeah. Let
Right?
them be
Like,
free.
Yeah, let them be free.
Be who they are.
Yeah. And in Korea, it's very, I think, more controlling.
Yeah.
Overprotective.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like the trophy child.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing about Korea, again, like pet culture is so broad that it relates to some other topics as well.
Mhm.
The thing that I feel very uncomfortable with in Korea
Yeah.
is I feel that there's a trend, like
Oh, like of pet types?
of
Like
pet types.
breeds or like
Breeds.
Okay.
Like, so I wonder, right? About 10 years ago, it was all like Maltese. You see a lot of Maltese, right?
Are you thinking where did they all go?
Where'd they all go,
Where
right?
did they all go? Yeah.
And then it was like the Shiba, where like you see a lot of Shibas everywhere.
Mhm.
And now like they're like, I think I don't know, it's a French word they call pichon.
Mhm.
Like those,
Oh, the poofy.
the poofy
Pichon,
ones.
yeah.
And you get to think like, is this all about, how you want to be seen?
Yeah, it's more about the owner than the pet's well-being, right?
Yeah.
It's like a status symbol or something like that, yeah.
There's a really gross story where, so I told you that Shiba, the Japanese breed Shiba dog, was very popular
Yeah.
a couple years ago. And I heard that the Japanese, I guess, breeding organization or whatever, they stopped giving out
Oh, to Korea?
Shibas anymore because they know that they're just gonna throw away the dogs.
When they are no longer in fashion.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really, I mean, good on them for
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah.
But bad on Koreans for giving away dogs when they're out of trends.
I don't wanna shed bad light on Korean
Shed
pet.
bad light.
Yeah.
Dog puns.
No pun intended. Korean pet owners.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure most of them are very good pet owners.
Yes, yeah.
But I mean, I just for the sake of, bringing up a lot of topics, there are these negative aspects as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, I also want to talk about the Jindo,
Yeah.
because they're traditional Korean
Yeah,
breeds
so
too.
Jindoke I know is like the national dog of Korea, right?
Is it?
I don't know. It's
It
sorry.
might be. It might be. Yeah.
It's the people call it like the purebred Korean dog.
Yeah. You know why it's called Jindoke?
No, I don't know what it means.
Oh, it comes from Jindo, the island.
Oh,
Like
they come
Do's
from
Island.
Do's Island. Yeah. The
There's an island called
Jin.
Jindo,
Uh-huh.
and it's from Jindo, so it's
Oh.
called Jindoke.
My dad always described them as extremely loyal, very protective,
Yeah.
and smart. Of course, of course, Korean dogs are smart to Koreans.
I think Jindoke became very popular in like the early 90s or something.
Yeah.
I didn't research this well, but there's a story where the this owner of a Jindo dog,
Yeah.
he like sent the dog away to Seoul or whatever.
Yeah.
Might not be Seoul, but some other city.
Yeah.
And the dog ran back
Found its way
home.
back. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true or it's slightly exaggerated,
Yeah.
but that was like they made a commercial out of that, and like everything was
Yeah.
it was a big
Mm.
story. And I think people really liked Jindo after that.
Yeah.
Not as popular as Jindo, but there's another breed called 삽salge.
Uh-huh.
It's like a big but very hairy dog, but those two are Korean native breeds.
Oh, it's a Korean breed. Got it.
I don't know why I brought this up, just because we were talking about breeds.
No, Chindokas I think are like they're famous amongst Korean Americans too. I don't know. It's like, oh, it's like a Korean dog, right? Like
Yeah,
because you would hardly ever see a Chindoka in America,
yeah.
right? So I think that's why too. It's pretty common, I think, understanding in Korea
Mm-hmm.
that once, let's say you're a couple, you have a dog, but when you get a baby,
Mm-hmm.
you should really consider giving the dog away.
Mm.
There's a common, I think, fear that the dog will get jealous and maybe
Mhm.
attack the baby.
Mhm,
I don't know
mhm.
if this is founded on some, I don't know, some highly publicized incident from the 60s, who knows?
Mm.
But pretty across the board, I've heard this from many different Korean parents.
It is believable, that's why, right?
It is believable, but I think it shows too, though, that uh, even though more and more Koreans are seeing their pets as companions,
Mm-hmm.
they're also still, I think, maybe quick to get rid of them
Mm.
if there's another priority in their life, right? Whether it's a
Mm.
child or whatever. And
Mm.
to be clear, we probably should be prioritizing the baby over the animal.
Mm.
But I think more commonly in the US, there'd be no question. It's just like they can both coexist just
Yeah.
fine.
You see
But
a lot of like very cutesy
oh,
Instagram
interactions.
reels.
Yeah, exactly, with baby and dog interactions.
Yeah.
And so
And I also heard that it's good for the baby.
I agree.
Yeah.
It just seems like pet owners are much quicker to get rid of the animal
Mm.
because, there might be a, 0.001, like a minuscule chance
In Korea, you said?
in Korea
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
or amongst Korean parents,
Yeah.
grandparents in particular. So even in the US, I think where it's kind of a rite of passage, a couple gets a pet before
Oh.
they get a real baby.
Yeah.
But a lot of that older generation of Korean Americans in the US,
Mhm.
they strongly advise their kids like, hey, you might want to get rid of your dog
Mm.
once you have the baby. So yeah,
Mm.
I don't think that's a very common sentiment amongst American
Yeah.
families.
Again, I think that's the difference in generation
Mhm.
towards how they view pets.
Yeah,
Because it's like, again, it's like a 애완동물, like a toy.
a
to
toy
them.
and
So,
accessory.
yeah, why don't you just get rid of it, right?
I wanted to ask, in the US, there's a huge trend, I think, or movement against breeding,
Mm.
right? So it's all about, getting rescues
Mm, mm, mm.
or don't pay for breeding, right?
Yeah,
So is that a trend at all in Korea? Um,
it is.
Okay.
I think when I was growing up, even in like the 90s and early 2000s, I think probably the only way to get a dog or a cat is through a pet shop.
yes, yeah.
Yeah, and they're all breeded. And nowadays, it's more common to get a rescue dog or rescue
Okay.
cat.
Yeah. That's seen as like the right thing to do if you can, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
if you're open to it.
And it's more like it's trendy.
More trend. Good. Society has deemed that rescuing pets is better than breeding them, very expensive breeds. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, it makes you feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
If you're gonna get a dog, what dog would you get?
Probably it would depend on my situation in life.
Mm,
If I were in a place where I could, walk them regularly, spend a lot of time with them.
mhm,
Oh yeah, I think medium-sized dogs are a lot more fun,
mm,
right? You can like play catch with them,
Yeah.
etc. But I think if I were in a place where like we didn't have a lot of space or I wanted the kids to really like help out, I'd
Mhm.
probably prefer a smaller dog.
mm,
Yeah.
mm,
But as far as breeds go, like again, you're asking the wrong person.
mm.
I think in the US, there's a lot of toxic masculinity around like, oh, if a guy has a small dog,
Uh,
it's like more effeminate.
uh,
So anyway, that part of that's playing into this as well.
yeah,
June, if you had to get a dog,
yeah.
what breed would you like?
What do you think I would get?
This is like some Myers-Briggs, like
No.
MBTI
There are a lot of clues.
I mean, you said you had a Yorkie.
I had a Yorkie.
What clues? I don't know.
Wouldn't I want a Japanese breed?
Oh, Shiba.
If I had to get it now, I
Yeah.
would get a Shiba. But if I had a lawn,
Yeah.
I would get a bigger breed,
Yeah.
like a chindo or something. In terms of like physical appearance,
Yeah.
I like a dog that looks like a dog. You know what I mean?
I know what
Like
you mean.
in my understanding,
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
dog looks like a dog,
Yeah.
like more like a wolf.
Okay. I wanted to ask another question though about pets.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there at all is a correlation between the declining birth rate in Korea and people replacing maybe having a family and babies with raising a pet instead for that companionship? I think it's very important. But yeah, do you think that's like some trend at all, or am I reading into it too much?
That's very interesting. I never thought about it. Maybe there is. But if there, I mean, I can't say there's zero correlation.
Mhm.
There probably is some influence,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's a big influence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I just can't imagine someone thinking, "Oh, we don't want a baby, so we're gonna have an animal." What
Yeah.
I think most likely happens is, "Oh, we can't afford or want a kid," and then independently, it's like, "Well, should we have a pet or dog that we can also raise and take care of?" So, yeah, I don't think they're replacing babies, but it's just like, this need for companionship and taking care of something. I think that's there and can be innate. And so people want to channel that somewhere, right? Yeah, in SF though, it was common to see like people treating their pets like babies, right? But in
Oh.
Korea, it's way more common.
Is there a word for that?
No, I don't know. Yeah, going extra overboard.
That's like the entire Korean pet culture.
I agree. I do think the Korean pet culture is pretty extreme. Yeah.
This is like a short snippet of pet culture in Korea that probably our audience who was raised in America wouldn't know. There was a culture when I was growing up little in elementary school where there'd be like these people selling chicks.
Oh, baby chickens as pets?
In front of elementary schools. And they sell it at like 500won or something, like very cheap
Very
price.
cheap, yeah.
And these kids, like they're just gonna buy it and bring it home. Funny story. I also did the same.
You bought an Obekwan baby chick?
I think I bought a chick.
Yeah.
And I brought it home.
Yeah.
And we grew it up to a chicken.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, then what?
And then
First of all, that's incredible. Yeah.
It is, right? And then one day I don't see the chicken anymore.
Oh no.
But then we had a very good chicken dish.
We know what happened to the chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah. But June, actually, a lot of things are now finally coming back. Why I wanted to bring this up.
Yeah.
So yeah, this episode is so disorganized. But okay, the number one difference for me between America and Korea, it's in Korea, I feel like it's taboo for me to approach a dog owner and pet the dog or talk about the dog or interact with the dog.
Yeah.
And in America, it's like the opposite. It's so encouraged. It's number one. Like they want you to play with their dog, right? And so I've learned, and it's so sad because our kids, I think, as soon as they see a pet, a dog especially, they want to go pet it. And my instinct is like, yeah, go pet it, right? Like let it smell your hand, like whatever.
Yeah.
But in Korea, I have to like stop it. Like, oh no, like in Korea, you don't touch other people's pets.
Really?
So I don't know if you feel the same way.
I didn't know about that. Was there an incident where you realized that it was taboo? Like did like some dog owner?
Yeah, they just ignore me or they shield their dog from me.
Really?
And also, I would say dogs are
Might be to protect your children.
That's what I mean too. Dogs are not as well trained or socialized. Like these dogs are like they're growling for no reason. There's no other dog in sight. Like I just think they're poorly trained. Again, back to the point, maybe they see them more as like an accessory rather than like someone they really want to care for and take care of. But anyway, this is like a really heartbreaking difference for me. I mean, I want to pet every dog I see, right? But the owners just don't want you to, or it's kind of taboo here, I think.
I had no idea.
Okay.
I never approached some other dog.
But that's to me, that's weird. If you see a dog on the street, you don't feel an immediate inclination, oh, I'm going to go pet it.
I think there's a weird tension between the dog owner and a stranger because the dog owner also is not sure if they're happy that my dog is interacting with them.
Oh, I don't know. But if I'm approaching it, right, like,
yeah.
Anyway, I thought it was about like liability, like what if something happens, like they don't want to get sued.
Oh, actually, a couple of days ago, I went to a cafe. And it was one of those cafes where you can bring your dog.
Yeah.
And the table next to us, there were a couple. They had a dog.
Yeah.
and they unleashed the dog so that the dog could just run around.
Okay.
And the dog obviously came to my table and he like kind of like wanted to like jump up my lap.
Yeah.
I was really okay. I was happy.
Yeah.
But I saw I saw the reaction of the owner, and they were like very cautious of whether I'm okay with it.
Like
and all.
apologetic
Yeah,
or
like
cautious.
they were like, yeah, they were like, they didn't know if I'm upset that the dog came to me.
I see.
Yeah, so maybe that kind of weird.
But you're in a dog cafe, June.
It wasn't a dog cafe.
Oh,
It was a cafe where they
it was a
just allowed
dog-friendly
Yeah,
cafe. Got
yeah.
it. Okay.
So
Yeah, in that sense, actually, I'm surprised they unleashed their dog inside a cafe.
me too.
If it wasn't a dog cafe.
But I was
yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah. But there definitely would be people who are scared of dogs.
Yeah.
And not liking that the dog's coming.
Ah,
to them.
interesting. Yeah. That's another thing too. I think dogs in Korea are 100% leashed. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because it's a city and there's cars everywhere.
Mm.
But again, it's just, I think I've only seen one dog park
Mm-hmm.
where it's like fenced in, but like you can bring your dog and let them go unleashed.
Yeah.
But I would say like outside the house, dogs are always leashed here too, which again, a little sad.
Are they not in the States?
It's very common to see dogs unleashed running around if
Mm.
they're well trained. Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to bring up this person called Kang Hyung-wook.
Mm-hmm.
He's like the
Owen
Owen
Young
Young of dogs. Yeah. And I think he played a really big role
Yeah.
in improving dog petting culture
Yeah.
in Korea. And I think he's the one who's saying that you should always leash your dog when you're
Really,
walking.
you should
Yeah.
always leash them.
Yeah, not only to protect pedestrians but to protect the dog. Yeah.
From running into the street and
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
run over. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
And also having, we call it immage.
Oh, a muzzle,
Yeah.
mouth guard
Yeah.
to prevent them from biting.
Yeah.
That's
it's
more
like-
like the common good in the sense, like, so no one can be afraid of the dog attacking
Yeah, I think
them.
that too.
I see.
Even if your dog is 100% trained, people passing by wouldn't know, and some people might feel anxiety.
I mean, there are certain breeds of dogs that are
Yeah.
known to be more vicious and
Yeah.
like more, kind of guard dog types,
Mhm.
which in the U.S. can be scary. Actually, yeah, I know of many incidents growing up in my neighborhood.
Mm.
Elderly people got their hand bit by a dog that was unleashed or
That's the reason.
yeah, at the same time though, I think for the 99% of dogs that would be happier
Yeah.
and just fine unleashed, for everyone to think, oh, I have to leash my dog, I have to muzzle my dog in public, seems like, I don't know if that's the right trade-off, but
I think what the Kang Hyung-wook guy, he's called 개통령, by the way.
that's so funny. That's an awesome pun. Dog president.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good.
I think what he's trying to say is that you can train the dog to be happy.
With the muzzle,
With the
with the
muzzle,
leash.
yeah.
I get it. But yeah, I do think it's interesting, right? Like pet culture mirrors Korean culture in general, right?
Yeah.
The trends, I
trends.
think the collectivist versus individualist,
Yes,
like it all
that's
comes up and yeah, it comes through with how we treat our pets too. Also the utilitarian nature, especially the older generation.
Oh,
Like the animals had to serve a purpose, right? Whether it was food, whether it was security,
Yeah.
whatever, right? And now it's just more companionship and entertainment. But anyway.
I used to have 2 guinea pigs growing up.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me that.
You know where they came from?
No. Where did they come from?
Obviously, the lab.
Oh. Oh. Wait, your dad was a researcher? I thought he was like a doctor.
He's a doctor, but
But
he's
he also did
a
lab research.
pathologist.
Okay. So white lab mice and guinea pigs were your pets growing up. That's its own
Unlimited resource.
June. This is its own subculture.
Yeah.
Growing up, my mom worked at a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
We never once bought our own paper towels, the kitchen towels.
Oh,
We just had stacks and stacks.
you
and
probably had
stacks.
the best quality paper towels.
No, they're the ones that you put in like the public.
Oh, the
Bathroom.
bathrooms of the hospital.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you had like some other
No. So we just had like we've never.
patient grade.
I'm pretty sure my mom's never bought a paper towel in her life.
Mm.
She just takes it from work.
I know this is like, we have to talk about this later.
Yeah.
You know,
It's the scarcity mentality, right?
growing up, we had Korean Air cutlery. plates.
Yes, us too.
Now that I think about it, like when did that happen? Like at what point of the meal do you put your forks and knife into your bag
Stash it away.
and what do you give back to the flight attendant?
My mom would take the ketchup packets from McDonald's
Yeah.
and squeeze them into
Oh,
like
that's
another
next level, man.
Is that? I thought that was pretty common. Squeeze them into like a big thing. So we bought one Heinz bottle once
Yeah.
and refilled it with McDonald's ketchup for the rest of my life.
Do you know this Friends episode where Ross he tries to do that in
No.
hotels?
No.
Like gets every amenity.
Oh, yeah.
That
that
was a
rings a
little
bell.
relief to me. It's not
It's not
the
just
Asian
us.
thing.
Okay.
Why? Wait, what? Oh, it's because of the guinea pig.
Guinea pig. Yep. So, all right, let's wrap it up.
Okay.
Thanks for listening
Thanks for
to our
listening.
episode on pet culture.
All right. Well, we hope to see you next week.
Follow us on Instagram,
all
like, comment,
social media.
subscribe, and all social media.
Please comment and like our.
We think it's good for the algorithm.
Yeah. Our shorts.
Yeah, email us, give us comments, give us feedback. Let us know how we're doing and what topics you'd like to hear in the future. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, I want to show the audience.
Okay. Stay tuned for our furry cat friend. 안녕.
Yeah, as you can see, he's very friendly.
Yeah.
He never hissed at me ever.
Yeah. I like him. Oh, shoot. Maybe she had a Yorkie. Oh, my sister-in-law will be very upset if I get the breed
A
wrong.
Yorkie? I had a Yorkie.
I think she had a Yorkie, then a Maltese. Yeah.
Nah.
Anyway.